Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Joshua Loveday, psychology student here in East Tennessee, and this evening's topic will be childhood trauma. And you may be asking, why are we discussing something like childhood trauma? Well, it is more common than you would maybe think, and it's something that allows us to have greater compassion for those around us. And by now, you probably have noticed a common thread or theme in my mental health videos, and that is the more we know, the more we grow, and the better we can love others, and the more compassion we can even have on ourselves. Childhood trauma is one of those aspects of life that we hear about if we've never personally experienced it, or we have a good friend who we do know some of the things that they suffered through during their beginning developmental years, and we fail to just understand the science behind the traumatic effects on our brains. And it's one of those things where if you grew up, and let me just go ahead and say this as a disclaimer, every family's imperfect. I'm fully aware of that before someone has to inform me of that. So this video has nothing to do with how perfect or imperfect families are. There's obviously no perfect family. It has everything to do with neglect, abuse, and trauma. So those are a far cry from perfection. Now we will resume the video. So the first thing I'd like to do is give an actual definition of what childhood trauma is. And childhood trauma is any form of trauma or situation or series of situations that the child experiences during his or her developmental years that are extremely emotionally painful or severely distressing in some way. And that child's brain involuntarily is responding to those traumatic experiences, and their brain is actually being rewired and is having to normalize something that really is not normal or healthy. So for an example, children are twice as likely to develop a severe depression later in their life, whether it's teenage years or early adult years or even later adult years. They are 3 times more likely to develop a severe anxiety disorder of some type. Not just a little bit of anxiousness or nervousness, as those are normal human emotions, but we're talking debilitating, crippling disorders like panic disorder or generalized anxiety disorder, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. These serious mental health illnesses that cripple that person later in their life. Common causes of childhood trauma can be just severe grief. If a child has lost one of his or her parents, there can be emotional abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, severe rejection, where the child has to normalize worthlessness and has to normalize pain and has to normalize heartache from the very parental figures that are literally in a position to do the opposites of all those things. Some of the long-term effects of childhood trauma can be distorted view of reality, the brain being rewired to actually expect danger. It takes away our sense of safety and that everything will be okay, can create a sense of unexplained helplessness, create severe relationship problems, can even result in severe behavioral issues. The PFC, or prefrontal cortex, is what the child is using to learn and concentrate, whether that's in academic skills or just learning life lessons in the home. This region of the brain is underactive as a result of trauma. The ACC, or anterior cingulate cortex, is responsible for managing emotions, managing feelings, and this is also considered to be underactive, so that it's not properly functioning in the child's brain. And last but not least, our third region is in fact the amygdala, which we've discussed before. It's not only the fear center, but it does process many other feelings and emotions, and it is considered to be overactive when trauma is going on in that child's mind and brain. So a traumatized brain is seen to be bottom heavy, and what that means is the amygdala is overactive and unnecessarily firing off the fight or flight response like we talked about before in our video. And then your PFC and your ACC are underactive. So the parts of our brains that are more rational, that understand and learn and concentrate and process emotions, those abilities are dulled and are lessened. And then our amygdala and our ability to freak out and our protection mode and our fight or flight kind of takes center stage as a result of trauma in that child's mind and brain. So my main encouragement and takeaway for you in this video is to do a better job loving those who had to suffer through a childhood that you just honestly don't know anything about. We cannot say, well, no family's perfect. Well, obviously, and the sky is blue and the grass is green. Of course, no family's perfect. But all families are not abusive, and all families are not traumatic to their children. So let's just wear love on our sleeve. And more than anything, just hear my heart that all of my videos are always saying, love people with every fiber in your being. Just love them. And all the more reason to love them when they had to suffer with the very years of their life that the concrete was drying, so to speak, the concrete of their brain. And maybe it's a language in a world that you have had the privilege of never having to walk through. But there are many of those out there, many of us out there who that is very much a reality, and that is very much a lifelong journey, I'll say it again, of healing, recovering, and moving forward from. So thank you guys so much for joining me in this video this evening. Don't forget to go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm working on my custom URL once I meet a couple of milestones on the YouTube platform. And if you're watching this on IGTV or Facebook, don't forget to like, comment, and share, and drop a comment below if there's something that you would like for us to discuss in these videos. You guys have a blessed rest of your evening, and I will see you next time.